Yo. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Brianna. What are you doing?
Eating lunch?
Yeah, a lunch that says Anthony on it. Who eats something that isn't theirs? Who eats something with somebody else's name on it?
Well, I guess he seemed a little upset, but I thought we were friends. You know, like the kind of friends that share their food.
I'm more shocked than annoyed. And I can't believe that she thought that that'd be okay. But I did go back and speak up.
Yeah, so we had a chat, and Anthony shared with me that he doesn't really like sharing food. So I brought him a bag of chips to say sorry.
Oh, that's right. Jimmy borrowed a shirt. Hey, Jimmy, did you have the shirt?
Oh, yeah. Got it right here. Good as new.
Good as new, dude. If this is new, where do you shop?
I mean, life on the beet farm it's rough.
Yeah, rough. Thanks, man. Good as new? Good as new, Jimmy, huh? Good as new, yeah.
I don't get what the big deal is. I mean, that was like the best beet farming shirt I ever used. How was I supposed to know that the pigs were gonna attack? Anyway, he's got like 1,000 in his office. Ben could just grab a new one. Or I could take them for beet farming.
I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of shirts, but every shirt is sacred, okay? I mean, yeah, I've forgiven Jimmy, and forgive as the Lord forgave you, blah, 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 but he is never getting his hands on another one of my shirts for as long as we work together.
1, Ben forgave me. Awesome. 2, got the shirt back. Beets, here we come.
Can you imagine? Have you ever had an experience like that where someone is being a real jerk? How do you deal? No, really, how do you deal? If I'm being honest, I tend to complain about the jerk. I might stop talking to them or give them the silent treatment, or sometimes I even pretend that their actions didn't hurt me when they did. Now, I know that when Jesus was on earth, he said some things that sounded pretty absurd, like really crazy. People who heard his teachings would often scratch their heads or just listen in disbelief. That's because Jesus was passionate about righting wrongs in this world, and he challenged his followers to live life differently. Let's see what Jesus has to say about the jerks in our lives, like people who steal our sandwiches or ruin our clothes. We are in Matthew chapter 5. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. Yes, that makes total sense. Let's keep reading. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. Wait, hold up. Love your enemies? Pray for those who persecute, those who mistreat you? Pray for Jerk McJerkyson? Jesus, that sounds absurd. But I'm gonna keep reading. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even pagans do that. Okay, pause, rewind. This is hashtag Real Talk Truth Time, and we need to hear it again. You have heard it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your brothers, what are you doing more than others? Do not even the pagans do that? Okay, Jesus is making us really reflect. If we only show love to people who love us, people who treat us well, we're not really living differently from everyone else on the planet. And what he's asking us to do, love our enemies and pray for them, it sounds absurd. And it's not easy, especially if we've been hurt in big ways. Jesus is challenging us to live differently, to love differently, by responding in a different way. Even as Jesus was being nailed to the cross, he cried out a prayer for his enemies. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. Jesus loved them even as they were against him. That's living and loving differently. You see, God doesn't promise that we'll never see or experience injustice, but God invites us to fight for justice by responding differently through forgiveness. Today in your 4-to-1 groups, you'll talk more about ways you can forgive others and respond from a place of love.